Hey guys, this is Mr. Terry once again, and this will be our third lesson using art elements, which I just remind you are kind of like ingredients. So like if you were going to make a taco, you would need the ingredients of a shell, you would need taco meat, you would need cheese and whatever toppings you want on it. And so when we make art, our ingredients are things like lines, which we've talked about. They can be straight, they can be curved, and they can be angled or bent with a corner. We also know they can go up and down or vertical like this first one. They can go side to side or horizontal rather, or they can slant and be diagonal. We also use the ingredients of shapes, and we have three basic shapes that we've been using. Vertical and horizontal lines can make a square, a curved line can make a circle, and angle lines can make a triangle. And it's angle lines that we're going to use to draw today. All right, now remember that angle lines and shapes feel dangerous, kind of like thorns, things that could hurt us. And this is one reason why it's used a lot in villains like the Joker. Look at all the angles and points in his drawing here. Also, you might remember mean old Tom from Tom and Jerry. Look at the points on his ears and his hair. But it's not always bad guys. Sometimes it's just goofy characters like our good friend Patrick Star. And also, from the movie Up, you may remember Kevin the bird, kind of goofy but harmless. Now today we're going to draw a mean character, of course our good friend the Grinch. So let's get ready. For this project we're going to use a good old-fashioned number 2 pencil and some kind of ink pen. I'm using a black felt tip, but any kind of ink pen will do. We're going to use markers, usually green, but you can use crayons or colored pencils if you have them. Okay, you get your good old number 2 pencil ready, and remember we're going to be drawing really lightly. Let's start with a line across this way, and then we're going to turn that into a triangle pointing down. Now we're going to draw a smaller triangle pointing up, and this is going to be our structure for the Grinch's face. Let's draw a line down the middle. Again, this is a guideline to help us get the eyes and nose and everything in the right place. Now we're going to give an indication where the Grinch's eyebrows are, and again they need to be angled down. A little tiny nose right at the bottom of that, and then we're going to kind of round off this triangle. So you can press a little bit harder. Still, you don't want to be too dark. Now let's round off his cheeks. Still, this is basically a triangle and his chin comes to a point, but we want it to be just a little bit round. It's just a triangle structure underneath. Now draw a couple of curves right in here to make the eyes. And Dr. Seuss, when he draws the eyes, he usually makes like little tiny U's in there. So that's like a little letter U. Now let's draw some wrinkle lines where his eyebrows are scrunched up and his eyebrows are long and hairy looking. So make sure you add that in there. Now we'll draw a couple of lines for cheeks, and then we're going to draw the mouth. And I don't like that. See, don't be afraid to erase. This is another reason we draw lightly here. I'm going to bring mine down a little bit lower, kind of stop on that guideline because we want it to kind of come to a point, and then bring it up on the other side. I'm going to fix that one too. All right, great. Now, remember the Grinch is kind of covered in green fur, so we're going to add some fur right around in here. The neck, and he has this little collar. It's kind of jagged. Lots of angles you see on the Grinch here. Makes him seem unstable and scary. Now we're going to do his hair. I love drawing his hair, how it kind of curves over like that. All right, and there's our pencil drawing. All right, now for our inking. Again, we're just basically tracing here, but we also might want to add a few things. Make sure your lines are good and smooth, though for the Grinch and drawing like Dr. Seuss, they can be just a little bit more organic. They need to look a little bit more wrinkly. Get the little letter U for each eye, and let's do the curve around the nose, and I'm going to add a couple of nostrils in there, and then we'll draw the bottom part of the eye. And we're going to add a few wrinkles. We didn't have this with our pencil drawing, but we can add it in with our ink lines. Now we'll draw a creepy smile. I'm going to add a little bit of these lines in the middle. You can see that Dr. Seuss's design. Alright, we'll bring the cheeks out. We'll get the furry, kind of jagged looking edges. That adds more of those angles to his design. And also makes him look furry. I'll leave a little space here at the top where the hair can poke through, though we might overlap it just a little bit. And again, this is one of my favorite parts. I love the Grinch's hairstyle. So fun. Basically, it's just 3 points, but we don't want them to be too even. We want first one's short, you notice, and then the other two are different lengths. And they all kind of flop over there like a wave. And we'll get the collar here. Lots of angles. Alright, now we're drawing like Dr. Seuss. You may remember from our one lesson we used hatching. That'll add to the fur texture and also a little bit of shading in there. Put a little bit on this one side, but leave the other white. Now, just a little indication of texture in his hairdo. Oh, don't want to forget those wrinkles in the middle. Now let's take our eraser. We're going to erase out our pencil lines so we get a nice clean ink drawing so we can start to color. Alright, now we're going to use a light green marker, but a light green crayon or colored pencil. Either one of those would do if you had other things, oil pastels. Remember, we are going to leave just a little white edge here on the right side as if the light is shining down, and just give it a little bit, kind of a feeling of shading, even though we're using a solid marker and it makes a solid color. Add that same little line kind of here on that right side of the hairdo. Alright, now we're going to outline the rest so that we can color it in and stay in the lines. Always helpful to do an outline when you're using markers especially. It's a great way to keep your drawing looking nice and neat and clean. Going to go around the eyes. Alright, we finally got it mostly outlined. Ooh, I'm going to leave a little highlight there too, so those wrinkles will stand out. I'm going to leave a little light spot on the nose. If this goes too fast, feel free to pause the video, and that way you can catch up. A lot of space here to fill in. So don't get in too big a rush and get sloppy. We're drawing to look nice. All right, now we're going to get our yellow marker, and I'm going to do something a little different here. I'm going to make a little circle on this right side of the eye, and then I'm going to color around it, and it'll make his eye look shiny. Make it look like there's a little light shining on it from that direction there. Okay. Oh, those yellow, scary eyes. All right, so remember the last thing, just gotta sign your name. Great job. Well, that's it for lesson number 3. I hope you enjoyed using angular shapes, triangles, and angles and points. Are a great way to show an unstable character or maybe a goofy kind of character. So I hope you enjoyed drawing that with me, and if you want to make characters like that, angular shapes are a great way to communicate that to people who are viewing your pictures. So thank you again for joining me, and keep drawing.